Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. My name is Ezeliora Godsfavour. So before we start anything, let's do like a very quick introduction, okay? So please, can we go to like the comment section and you just type in your name and where you are joining us from? For example, I am Ada. I'm joining us from Ghana. I'm joining us from Nigeria. Oh, Dorcas, you can hear me. Thank you. So your name and where you are joining us from. So while we are introducing ourselves in the comment section, let me introduce myself. My name is Ezeliora Godsfavour. I am a data analyst, and I'm also a community manager at Nexo Girls. And for this program, I am going to be your facilitator and your tutor. Okay. So let me go through the comment section to see where people are joining from. So we have Dorcas from Kenya. Hi, Dorcas. We have Tom from South Sudan. We have Funke from Nigeria, Joseph from Nigeria, Tolisape from Nigeria, Osato joining from Nigeria, Inyoluwa from Nigeria, Chema from Nigeria, Ijoma from Nigeria. So this is a lot. So this is just me saying welcome everybody, welcome everybody. And please, can somebody go to the WhatsApp group and text that we have started so more people can join? So while we are doing that, let me share my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So let's start now, okay? So this is our first class this week, and we are basically going to be doing introduction. We had a pre-recorded section which we shared in the morning for people that are new to Excel and who want to catch up on the basics. Okay, so you're not lost in class. So let's go through our housekeeping rules for this chat. Someone is writing on my screen. Please do not do that, okay? Okay. So let's go through some housekeeping rules. We please join your classes early. Do not mute unless you are asked to. So this third rule, which is have your Excel and materials ready before class, this is for next week. So next week, we are going to be having our first hands-on section where you are going to be building alongside me. So I'm going to send the resources we're going to be using in class beforehand so you can download, okay? Please find a quiet place and focus fully, come prepared, engage respectfully. And this is very important. So this session is being recorded for promotional and educational purpose. By joining this call, you consent to being visible in the recording. So this brings us to our agenda for today. So we are going to be, our agenda, we're going to start with, we're going to speak like a little bit about the program, introduction to data analysis, how different industries use data analysis. We're going to talk about our pre-analysis board, and we're going to have time for questions, okay? So the Dash Tell program is a 4-week beginner-friendly bootcamp designed to help you, the participants, with basic Excel knowledge build, help you build your first data analysis project, help you document your first data analysis project, okay? And through this program, you'll be able to learn how to clean, analyze, and visualize data using Excel. You're going to be able to create a simple dashboard, document your findings, and complete and submit a personal project for your portfolio. So I would like to give like a shout out to Nexo Girls. So the organization sponsoring this event is Nexo Girls, and Nexo Girls is under the Climiradi Roberts Foundation. And I also want to give a shout out to the founder, Eunice. Eunice has been very supportive, and she's the reason why we are here, okay? So now that we're done with let me see, hold on please. I want to check the chat box to see if we are having like questions. Okay, no questions yet. So please, while we are here, if at any point you have questions, just put it in the chat box. Okay, so when it's time for questions, I'll make sure that I attend to all your questions. I'll make sure that I answer all of them. Okay, and if at any point you can no longer hear me, please also type it in the chat box. Okay, thank you. So now we are done with the whole program and all of that. Sorry about that. So let's have like an introduction. So we are here because of data analytics. This week, we are basically building our foundation, and it's on that foundation that we are going to build our project next week, okay? So let's start by introducing what is data analytics. Now, data analytics is the process of collecting, organizing, and examining data to help make better decisions, help solve problems, help spot patterns. Now, I put it to you that you've practiced data analytics at one point. So you come out in the morning and it is cloudy, okay? And you're like, I feel like it's going to rain today. Let me take my umbrella. You've just made a decision based on past events, okay? So that is just you practicing data analysis. Now, this involves you collecting data. I'm going to be using Chowdeck. Chowdeck is a food delivery app in Nigeria. So you can so they have different restaurants on the application. You can go to any of these restaurants and you order food and they bring it to your doorstep. Okay, so I'm going to be using them as an example. So data analysis involves collecting data. Okay, so it's just basically, you can, for example, getting order history from a food delivery app like Chowdeck. They don't just collect this data, they clean and organize this data. How do they clean and organize the data? They can remove duplicates, they can remove wrong dates, they can correct wrong dates, they can also standardize item names. Now, after we are done cleaning and organizing this data, we analyze this data to find trends. Now, what are trends? So, for example, in Nigeria, every December, Christmas period, transport is usually expensive. Now, so most people now know that not just transport, everything is usually expensive because, everybody's celebrating, people are more willing to pay more and all of that. So you notice that most people, since they know that by December, things are going to get expensive. How do they know this? They've checked like last 2 years, things got expensive during December. Last year, things got expensive during December. So obviously this year, things are going to get expensive during December. So you notice that by September, people start stocking up. Why? Because they've spot trends, they've analyzed like their data, they've found out that, this usually happens during December. So they now use it to make informed decisions by buying things by September, November, before December, so they can save more money. Now, but you as a data analyst, you spot these trends and then you visualize and you share your insights by creating charts, by creating dashboards to show, for example, peak hours. So for peak hours, you say, most of our customers usually order by 4 p.m. Friday. Now, if you tell a business that most of their customers usually order by 4 p.m. on Friday, what are they going to do with that information? So you'll notice that they'll want to post more maybe on Friday. You want to post more on Friday. Or if you notice that, most of our customers buy more on Sunday, maybe because they don't go to work, they're free and they're chilling at home. Okay. For example, you can also find out that for a business, you can help the owners of the business find their best performing delivery zones. So for example, Ajah is a place in Lagos. You can say, Ajah is our best performing delivery zone. What can we do? Or let's say you are a business in the UK and you notice that most of your customers are coming from Nigeria. What can you do with this information as a business? You can decide, to make my customers more happy and to save more, I can open up a store in Nigeria so that they don't have to pay for delivery and all of that. So recently I was ordering from Buy Better. Buy Better is a skincare brand. And I noticed that they use this First Delivery, FEZ, it's a delivery company. So I noticed that they started doing this locker room stuff. So this is just them basically saying, instead of waybilling to your house, which is expensive, we can waybill, for example, if 10 people are ordering from my area, we can just waybill it once to a locker room, and we'll give you the password to go and pick up your item from there. So let's say delivery to your house is 4,000 naira. Delivery to the locker room will be like 2,000 naira. You see that your customers are saving money. And I'm sure they must have noticed that, oh, more people are choosing the pickup option because they don't want to spend money on delivery. So they decided to find like an alternative so customers can save more. So this is why data analysis is very important to businesses, to companies, because companies want to make their customers happy. Happy customers will spend more. Okay, so data analysis involves collecting data, cleaning and organizing the data, analyzing the data to find trends, and then visualizing and sharing these insights via charts, via dashboards, and all of that. So now, how do companies or different industries use data analysis? Now, we have the healthcare industry. Now, under the healthcare industry, we have hospitals, we have clinics, we have pharmaceutical companies. Now, they can use data analysis to monitor patient records, predict disease outbreak, improve treatment plans, and manage hospital resources. So during COVID, you find out that there are all these, I can't remember what it's called. There's this, can someone remind me? There are these machines they were giving out to different states during COVID. So, hold on, please. Someone is saying something. Oh, someone is waiting in the waiting room. Okay. No, somebody is admitting everybody. Okay, there's somebody admitting everybody. So just hold on, they'll admit the person. Goodness. So let's continue. Let me share my screen. Okay. So during COVID, you find out that they are sending more resources to some states. And now, how do they know which states to send more resources to? Through data analysis. Now they can say, oh, we have more patients in Jos, or we have more patients in Lagos. Now, these are states in Nigeria, okay? How do we know that we should send more machines to the north or to the south, okay? Through data. Now, we have finance and banking. Now, you notice that sometimes you receive like a very huge amount of money and they block your account and they tell you to come to the bank so that they can, investigate or whatever. They want to know where the money is from. They want to make sure that, oh, this is legit. They want to make sure that this is not fraud. Okay? Now, they use data to analyze risk, customer spending, detect fraud, and improve loan decisions. Now, how do banks know who to give loans to and who not to give loans to? Now, they must have checked your data to say, oh, this person pays on time. This person doesn't pay on time. So let's give this person loan and let's not give this person a loan. Okay? So they use data to analyze risk, customer spending, detect fraud, and improve loan decisions. So we also have retail and e-commerce. So they use data to track user behavior, app performance, and improve product features based on data. So in data analysis, there's something we call A and B testing. So sometimes you open like an application and you are seeing a feature that your friend is not seeing. So basically, they call it A and B testing. They are they are trying to improve their product features. So they kind of, let's say they made two separate features and they deployed it to two separate users. So they want to know how each of those users react to those changes they made on the application. Okay, so these are how retail and e-commerce and different companies use data to improve their user behavior, app performance, and also improve their product features based on data. So we have agriculture and farming. So they use it to analyze weather data, soil quality, and crop yields for smarter farming. So let's go to the next slide. So here we have technology and software. So we have Google, we have Microsoft, we have Paystack, we have Flutterwave. So they use data to track user behavior. I just explained that, but yeah, this is another industry. So for education, we use data to track students' performance and tailor lesson plans, okay? So in the educational, in EdTech, they can say, okay, we find out that when we have classes for more than 40 minutes, students tend to get distracted so can we reduce the time to 30 minutes? So this is them using data to help students' performance, okay? You see in some schools, on the school timetable, they put mathematics in the morning because they notice that, oh, mathematics is easy to assimilate in the morning than in the afternoon, right? So this is just them using data to help students' performance, help improve students' performance. So they can use it to tailor lesson plans and reduce dropout rates. So transportation and logistics. So they can use data to optimize routes, predict delivery times, and manage vehicle maintenance. So they can also use it to spot trends. So you notice that during December, or at night when you order Bolt is like a delivery service. Transportation company, sorry. So you notice that at night when it's getting late, let's say normally on a normal day, you use 2.5 to get to your workplace or to your house. You just notice that when it is getting late and buses are getting scarce, that 2,000 might increase to 7,000, 8,000. Okay. So, you can also use data to track when the transportation maybe or let's say this, let me just use December example, right? During December, you notice that more people are traveling and they have less buses on the road. You can increase your fare, make more profits. And this is just using data. Okay. So we also have media and entertainment. Now, Spotify might decide to, sorry, I want to remove this. So Spotify can use data to analyze what you are watching, what you are listening to, and recommend content based on that. So you watch like 2, 3 romance movies. Netflix start recommending more romance movies for you. They're using your data to guide what shows get promoted. Same with Spotify. Oh, they just broke your hearts and you're listening to Esther, you are writing on my screen. So same with Spotify, you are listening to heartbreak songs and before you know, they start recommending more songs like that to you. Okay, so this is how they use data to. Okay, we also have, oh my God, sorry. We also have telecommunication like MTN, Glo, Airtel. Now, these are telecommunication companies in Nigeria, okay? So they use data to manage network performance, monitor your call and data usage, and improve their customer service. So we also have the government. They use that data to track population trends, budgets, and improve public policies and infrastructure planning. So you notice that when they are allocating resources to different states, they allocate more resources to states with more population than states with like lesser population. So they've done like their census. So they know how many people are in a particular state. So they know that, oh, these people are going to need more resources than these people with lesser population. Okay, so we also have real estate and housing. They use data to track property prices, rental demand, neighborhood trends, and forecasts investment opportunities. For example, in Nigeria, you notice that once they build like an airport in an area, you just notice that the prices of land in that place will just skyrocket because they know that since there's going to be like airports there, since they're building like an airport there, that, that place is going to be, in the next 2, 3, 4 years, that place is going to be very open. And so you see people buying land there so that they can resell in future when the government is done building the airport and all of that. So let's go to the next slide. This is very important. Problem solving as a data analyst. Now you've seen the industries, you've seen the processes involved in data analysis, you've seen how you've seen what data analysis is. You've seen the different industries that use data analysis. Now, this is where you come in as a data analyst. Now, a data analyst is someone that has the ability to identify and solve the right problem. So when companies or businesses employ you, they want you to help them solve their problem. They want you to help them make more profits. They want you to help them optimize efficiency. They want you to help them save costs. Now, this is where you come in. Now, what is problem solving? Problem solving is the ability to understand a business issue, explore the right data, and find clear answers using analysis. So as a data analyst, you don't just work with numbers. You are helping businesses. You're helping companies make better decisions by solving their problem using data. Now, why is problem solving important? So I need to okay. Why is problem solving important? So problem solving is important because it helps you to focus on the right question. Now, you notice that, so when we are going to be building our dashboard, you notice that, so at the beginning, we have to, let me just give this example now. Before we create our dashboard, you need to sit down and ask yourself, what is the problem statement? What problem are you trying to solve? It helps you to guide what charts should be on your dashboard and what charts should not be on your dashboard. So you don't want to have random charts on your dashboard, okay? So when you approach a data set as a problem, as a data analyst, you want to make sure that you have a problem-solving mindset. You want to focus on the right questions. What am I trying to solve with this data? Now, this data that I have, can I use it to solve this problem? Is it complete? Okay. Now you ask yourself, how can you bring value to this business? Remember, businesses are all about making profits. Now you also ask yourself, now this dashboard I'm creating now, does it help this business make profits? Does it help them optimize efficiency? Does it help them save costs? So you need to bring value to these businesses by finding out what is working or what is not working. My mentor gave an example of how they had been spending money on ads, and then they decided to check to see where most of their students are coming in from. They found out that most of their students are coming in via referral. Now, what they decided to do was they decided to give their students like a discount. So when you refer somebody, you, the student, get a discount. So you see the money I know how ads are not cheap. So you see the money they're supposed to spend on ads. They decided to make their students more happy. So the more happy your students are, the more likely they want to refer you to like other people. So you see how they use data analysis to bring value to their business and even save costs. So problem solving gives your work purpose and direction. So you're not just cleaning or visualizing and putting random charts. You are working with purpose, you're working with direction. And you also build trust when your insights solve real issues. So for example, as a problem-solving analyst, you're not just reporting, oh, we sold 20,000 products in January. Instead, you're explaining why the sales dropped and how you can fix it. Oh, our delivery drivers are rude. Oh, our customer service is bad. Okay? And then you are explaining how, what is happening. Why are the sales down? Why do we have more sales last month than this month? How do we fix it? You're also giving recommendations too. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. Now, how do you approach projects with a problem-solving mindset? Now, the first one is you want to understand the problem. What is the issue we are trying to solve? Who is affected by this issue that we are trying to solve? I want to make sure that you're asking the right questions. You want to break down this problem into smaller parts. So what do we need to measure? What do we need to compare? So you want to make sure that you have the right data sets, okay? Then you want to clean it and you want to organize it. You want to analyze this data that you've collected and you want to turn the numbers into story. So data, my mentor will say data without context is just numbers. So you turning your numbers into story is you giving your data context. What is this data telling us? What actions can we take? Now, the last one is you communicating your findings clearly. You want to use simple visuals. You want to explain why it matters. Okay? So these are the steps you take to approach projects with a problem-solving mindset. Now, our next slide, the different types of projects. So we have so many projects, and I just decided to explain 3. So the first one we have here is passion projects. Now, these are projects that you just use to showcase your skills, to showcase how creative you are. Now, you might do this for fun or for personal interests. So for example, you love football, so you can analyze a data set on, I don't know much about sports, but you can analyze a data set on the last football season, how it went, which player is the top player, and what these football clubs can do better. So these passion projects, they help you to build your skills and they help you to, build your portfolio. So another example is you analyzing Spotify listening trends. What are people listening to? What are the top songs on the charts? What are the top songs that people are listening to? Okay. So we also have business projects. This is just you picking up a data set and a business data set, and you solving the problem that the business is facing. So it is driven by business needs. You are focusing on making more money, making more profit. So how can this business make more money? How can they save costs? How can they improve their process? So some of the examples are, you want to know maybe why sales are dropping in Q2. Which marketing channel brings more conversion? Are most of our customers coming from Twitter? Are they coming from Instagram? Are they coming via referral? So which products should we restock? So sometimes you go to a website and you just find out that no matter what happens, this particular product is always in stock. So they use data to know which products do they sell. So most businesses, they have their best-selling product. How do they know what is their best-selling product? Via data, okay? So these business projects, the goal is to help businesses make better decisions. So we also have social impact projects. Now, these projects are usually often done for NGOs, school, local group, and social causes, even churches. Recently, I saw a data set that someone analyzed. It was a data set from her church, newcomers, to be very specific. So she analyzed a data set from her church. Now, in that dashboard, I saw where most newcomers are coming from. What time, what service do they prefer? Now, that church, where she analyzed that dashboard, I'm sure the people in charge of the church, they can say, oh, since our newcomers are coming from this place, why don't we send a bus there Sunday morning to pick them, to encourage them to come to church? So that's an example of a social impact project. Now this project, the aim to focus on creating positive change through data. So for example, you can analyze school dropout rates, you can help track food bank donations, and you can also study gender inequality in education. So these projects are projects that solve problems and that affect society and help improve lives. So I gave you an example of someone that analyzed like a data set from a church and, just newcomers in their church, where they're coming from, which service they prefer, and all of that. So yeah. Now, why do these projects matter, these different projects? Now, these projects matter because it helps you build your skills. It helps you to show range to employers. It also helps you to discover what type of work you enjoy. So as a beginner in data analytics, you don't just want to, unless maybe you know what you want, right? But you want to try out different projects to know which one appeals to you more. Unless maybe you are already working in like an industry already, and you want to become a data analyst in that industry. For example, healthcare. Now, when you see an healthcare data set and you are not into healthcare, at first you're going to get confused because you don't understand like the terms, the terminologies. But someone that is into healthcare will know, oh, this is talking about heart rates, this is talking about blood pressure, this is talking about, and all of that. So someone that is into healthcare can just decide to go into health analytics. Or somebody that is already into sports can just decide to go into sports analytics. But for someone that's, you don't have, you are not working, or you don't have like an industry you like first, I encourage you to try out different projects, and then you see the one you connect more with. Okay. So I just mentioned the different kinds of projects you can work with as a data analyst. So how do we source for this data set? So the thing is, most companies will not just give you access to their data set because their competitors can get hold of it and use it as an advantage, okay? So, but there are different sources you can check out to get data set from. Sorry, am I too fast? Wait, sorry, hold on, am I too fast? So if I'm too fast, or is it just, okay, someone said, okay, thank you. So we have different sources of data sets. The most popular one is Kaggle. So you just go there, you create an account, and they have so many data sets. So you can even scrape data from the internet and you put it on Kaggle, and people can download it and analyze. So we have this data.houstontx.gov dataset. We also have like a GitHub account where they share some public data sets. So we also have different sources of data, but Kaggle is like the most popular one. Okay. So you can use this data set to practice what you've learned so far, build projects, and build your portfolio. So this brings us to, I think this is the last thing we have for today. So today is just introduction. So sorry, that other part is for weeks, so you're not supposed to see that, but yeah. So this brings us to the pre-analysis board. What is the pre-analysis board? So the pre-analysis board is something, so before you just start cleaning data, you don't just bring data and clean it. So the first thing is you want to go through the column names. You want to know what this data set you're about to analyze, what it contains. You want to ask yourself, what does this data capture? Who collected it and why did they collect it? So people have different reasons for collecting data. In the previous example I used, where the lady, I saw her project, analyzed a newcomer, a data set where they collected data from newcomers in their church. Okay, so that data set was collected to know more about their newcomers, where they are coming from, which service they prefer, what they liked, and all of that. So that is the reason why that data was collected. So you see columns that are related to, or you can see just for, maybe they might not put the newcomer's name on the dashboard and all of that, but they might show you places where the data is like popular places where those newcomers are coming from. So you see that if you want to solve any problem that is related to newcomers, you can most likely use that data set to solve it, because that was why that data set was collected. Now you want to ask yourself, what is the goal of this project? What am I trying to discover? What am I trying to prove? Oh, the business is not doing well. I want to discover why this business is not doing well. Oh, newcomers, they'll come this Sunday and they will not come next Sunday. I want to discover why are they not. I want to discover why they are not coming back next Sunday. So you determine the goal of your project. Now you want to ask yourself, who are the stakeholders? That is, who are the people that will benefit from this my analysis? So for this example I just gave about the girl that analyzed the newcomers data set, this data set is going to be helpful to the people managing the church. We want our new converts to come back again. We want to win their soul for Christ, or we want them to come back, something like that. So, these are the stakeholders, and this is what is important to them. So with all this, you draft out your pre-analysis questions. You want to know which service do they prefer more. We can even decide to give them breakfasts. If we find out that more newcomers attend first service or second service, we can even decide to provide them with breakfast so that they can come. Okay? So it depends on what the goal of the business is. So you can fine-tune it to that. So your pre-analysis questions can include things like, what are our peak sales period? So if we notice that our peak sales period, let's say every Friday, we can restock before Friday. So we'll make sure that whatever the customers want is going to be available by Friday. We want to know which of our products are our best-selling products. So we can always make sure that that product is always in the office or is always on the site. So which region have the most orders? So recently, I ordered books from Robin Heights, and I recently found out that they opened like a branch. I can't remember if it was Kano or Kaduna. These are states in Nigeria. So I'm sure they must have looked at their data sets. I'm not sure, by the way. But yeah, they must have looked at their data sets and say, oh, we have more orders coming from the states. Why don't we open up a store there so that our customers, they don't have to pay for way bill all the way from Lagos. They can easily walk into our store and get the books that they need. So these are decisions that, these are pre-analysis questions we can ask, and then we can use our dashboard to answer these questions. So you don't just start analyzing, you don't just start creating dashboards. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that when you look at that dashboard, you want to make sure that that dashboard must do one or more than one of these three things. You want to make sure that the dashboard helps the company make more profits. Okay? You want to help them save costs, and you also want to help them optimize efficiency. Maybe you want to help them minimize delay. Maybe you want to help them maximize the value that their existing assets is already giving them. Like, you want to make sure that they have less defects. So it depends on the company and depends on the industry, right? So by helping them make more profits, it can be that you want to help them reduce churn. Churn is the amount of people leaving the company. You want to help them know which products feature to include, right? You want to help them identify or optimize their marketing spend, or which marketing channel is giving us more profits. This one is not giving us profits. Oh, should we leave this one and focus on this one, since most of our customers are coming via Instagram? Yeah. So this is basically it on what I have for today. So this is the introduction. So next week, Wednesday, same time, 4 p.m. West African time, we are going to be, before then, I will send in the data set we're going to be using. So with this problem, we're going to be analyzing a data set with everything we've learned so far. We've learned about pre-analysis board. So we are going to be creating our pre-analysis board. I'm also going to be sending the link where I got the data set from. So in case you want to learn how to, I'll also be showing you how to download from Kaggle and how to download from some of these websites. But just for time's sake, we might just choose one. Then we're also going to be analyzing this project. We're going to be analyzing next week from problem solving angle. So we have learned the different projects. So at the end of this program, you are supposed to download a data set and analyze it yourself, okay? But then we have to practice it next week so that you can do it on your own. So that's like your final project. So I want to see the comments section for questions. Oh, someone said, can we get the slides? Yes, you can get the slide. I'll send it to the group. So someone said, I'm impressed with the understanding aspect of data analysis that you explained. My question is, if a company, there's not enough data for the data analyst to solve a problem, how can the data analyst get or source for data? Okay, from Michael. So you actually need data, but I want to know what kind of company are you talking about? Because most companies, right, they have data engineers, they have data analysts. So sometimes these businesses, they have data sets, right? But they don't even know the problem that they want you to solve. They don't even know where their problem is coming from. Okay, so now it's now left for you, the data analysts, to look at the existing data sets that they have and try to find out like what problem, like, or try to bring out like a problem statement from the data that they have. So most of them, they don't know where their problem is coming from. Okay. So next person is saying, okay, yes, I already answered that. You can get the slide. Oh, you love data analysis. That's good. Interesting session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was an interesting session. Looking forward to the next class. So the next class, this one is, I might need you guys to come in with your laptop with Excel downloaded, okay? So just like Mr. Elijah said in the pre-recorded session in the morning, my Excel might be different from your Excel. So the home tab for mine might be different because I'm currently using Microsoft 365, but yours might be Excel 2006 might work. It's just that let's say from my home bar, for my home tab, sorry, where my different icons are might not be the same thing, the same with yours, okay? So you might struggle to find yours. But yeah, I'm very sure we are going to figure it out. So somebody said in construction, how can you use data analysis to solve problem? Because you did not mention it in the sector during the introduction. Oh, construction. So this is why I said people that are already in the field, for example, I used healthcare as an example. If you are already in healthcare and you see a health data set or a data set that has to do with health, you will not struggle like me that is not into healthcare, right? And I have to do more research to understand what certain terminologies mean. So, for example, you that is into construction, you might notice that you already know, you already understand the industry. You already know the problems you are having in the construction industry. So you can also say, you also know how data analysis can come in because I don't know much about construction. Okay. So I've explained what data analysis is, the processes, and what data analysis can do for different industries. So you can use this basic knowledge I just shared to know how it fits into the construction field. I don't know if that answers your question, Mr. Victory. Okay, yes, the attendance link. I'll be sharing it shortly. Yes, so do we have more questions? If you need to unmute your mic, let's say you don't like typing, you can maybe raise up your hand or something, and then I'll give you permission to unmute. So do we have more questions, more questions, more questions, or do we understand? But people are still coming, waiting room. Okay, somebody's hand is raised though. Sorry, please let me unmute. This is Mr. Oh, Helen Solomon. So let me unmute you. Helen, you can unmute now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you very much for the lecture. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're welcome.
Can you hear?
Yes, we
Okay.
can hear you.
Thank you very much. It's very okay, you mean, with your explanation and everything, but I just want to ask, you said we were supposed to download a data set, and then the next class we are going to, you know, you are going to teach us on how to use it. That's one. I don't know how we are going to do that. That's one. Then secondly, yes, talking about the Excel, I don't know, is it possible that we download the Excel 365, or we can just use the one on our system so we can
Yes,
flow with you
yes,
with the next class? I don't know.
you can use the one on your system. So
Okay.
Microsoft 365 is paid. That's the problem. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so but the one on your system will work fine. It's just that the arrangements and all of that, maybe you might struggle to find where certain things are. Do you understand? And the form is going to close in the next 15 minutes. So you have 15 minutes to fill in the form. I just sent the form now. So please fill in your attendance. So yeah. Somebody said where we will create, you talked about where we will create our dashboards. Yes, we'll be creating our dashboards using Excel, Rejoice. Does that answer your question, Rejoice? Sorry, I'm just seeing that now. I can't see the link, so I'll be resending it. Oh, your network logged you out. I'll be resending it now. So can you see the link now? The link is in the comment section. Can anyone see it? People cannot see it. So hold on, please. Let me resend it again. So let me copy it and then, hold on. I want to shorten it. So let me stop sharing so I can see my screen very well. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, I was sending it to the wrong room. So, yeah. Please give me a thumbs up. Now, not send it on WhatsApp. I need to know people that attended class today and people that missed the class. Okay. So, yes, people have sent the form now. So please fill in the form. The form is going to close in the next 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm so glad people have seen it. So this brings us to the end of our class. Thank you so much for joining. No more questions, right? So we can round up. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. See you in the next class. Every other, please, can someone confirm if the link is not responding? I just want to know if it's just who has opened the link here? I have, so you see. the link is working. So please try turning on your data, turning it off and turning it on again to see if it's going to work. Or you can also use another browser. Okay. So this brings us to the end of our session today. If there's going to be any assignments, I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group. And see you next week, Wednesday. Mr. Elijah's session, for those of you that you fill the form and no, don't worry, you get the link to this session is recorded. You get it via the group. I'm going to send it now once we are done. So, okay. Yeah, this brings us to the end of our session. I can't wait to see you guys next week, Wednesday. So please come in with your laptop and your problem-solving mindset. Thank you so much for joining. Bye. You can leave the call now. Thank you.